Sausage, Pancake, and Egg Breakfast. William Hovey Smith, 2014. I'm the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, and here's an interesting breakfast that I cooked and timed out.
This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And today we're going to do a breakfast cooking. And the challenge here is we have 3 different dishes that I'm going to make up from scratch. And each of them have vastly different cooking times. And we're going to try to do this and bring off the meal so that everything is hot when we serve it. Now this is a typical thing that's common in restaurants, of course. You don't want your eggs cold or your pancakes cold while some other part of the meal is being fixed. Okay, so we're going to start that, and we're actually going to time it out to see how long it takes to give you an idea of, okay, when do I need to start what to get it off at about the same time, and incidentally tell you about what we're cooking and how we're doing it. All right, we're going to start off with commercial pork sausage here. Now this is something I very seldom eat myself these days. Once a year I'll actually buy commercial pork sausage maybe. The reason is that this contains a vast amount of fat. In fact, all of the white that you see in this sausage is fat. And no, we don't really need to eat all of that much fat. And so when I make my own sausage, I do it with lean hog meat and deer meat. But this is typical commercial pork sausage. So we're going to cut it. Casings are good. There we go. Put it in a frying pan and get it started. And I'm going to start the timer now. And I'm going to start it at 1 minute. So okay. So we're now starting our cooking process from scratch. So okay, we finished cutting up our sausage into lengths. Now remember how big and fat these things are and how long they are. You'll notice a remarkable difference in size when we get through cooking. And why do I even bother to have it at all? I actually want the carton. Whoa! Yeah, I use it and I cut wads for my muzzle loading guns out of it. Whoa! And it happened to be available on special promotion for $4 for 2 containers this size. One of them's in the freezer and one we're cooking up right now. So we'll put this on the stove and get it started. And we turn it on. I have an electric stove about 7, which is medium hot. Now that's going to take a while, because not only are we going to brown it, we're also going to put moisture on it and finish it off actually in a boiling process. Now in the meantime, we can start the dry mix for our pancakes. Now these are homemade pancakes. And we're starting off with flour here. And this is self-rising flour. So it already has some baking powder in it. We're sipping it out here. If it didn't have baking powder, I would add to a cup of flour about a level teaspoon. So that's there. Now, strangely enough, in all bread products that I'm familiar with, you always add a little salt. So okay, on pancakes, yeah, about half a teaspoonful of salt to a cup of flour will do. Okay, we're going to add mace. Now mace is what gives pancakes that distinctive flavor, if you wondered what it was. Because if you make regular bread, you don't get that flavor. So you have to add your mace. And this is getting somewhat granulated. And this is about a quarter teaspoon, which should be enough for this. And I'm going to go ahead and re-sieve it through here too. See if we can break it down a little more even. Now, what about sugar? You put sugar in your pancake mix? I don't. Because you're going to add syrup at the end, so there's no reason to add sugar to the pancake mix now. Besides, this has some sugar content, and the more sugar you put in a bread, the greater it will stick in the pan. So this is going to cause it to stick some anyway, so no, you don't want to use any sugar. So that's it for now. So we'll just mix this up and prepare to add our wet ingredients when we get further along. Starting to cook in the frying pan here. Just sizzle a little bit, but we're going to let some of the grease come out and turn it, and then add water. We are now 12 minutes into the cooking process, and as you can see, the sausage is browning on the outside, and I've turned it once, and now I'm going to add water in the frying pan, and we'll continue cooking the sausage by steam. Okay. We've added our water, so now this goes back onto the stove. Now we are now resuming at 35 minutes in. And we have our sausage done. And here it is. And actually, this does not contain quite as much fat as usual. The older sausages from my childhood, I mean, you would have a bunch of grease in here. And this is not nearly so much. So actually the market is moving towards a leaner pork sausage. But okay. So now we're ready to actually start on the pancakes. And we'll keep this in this cast iron frying pan on the stove to keep it warm. Now about the pancakes. What we need to do is start up the griddle. We'll get it warm. Now you need to put some grease in pancakes. Now anything can do, hog fat, lard, butter. So we're going to put about this much. That's about, say 3/8 of an inch cube in there. And start it melting. We can add 1 egg per cup. Okay. All right. So that's done. We are going to use half a cup of cut strawberries to give a little fruit to the pancakes. Get our butter going here. All right. Pour that in like I'm doing. Okay, so we've got egg, butter, and fruit now. So, turn the fry pan back on. About medium to high for the first one. Because we don't have much batter here. Pour in a little milk. Proceed to mix. Okay, this is much too thick now. All right. Frying pan is getting about right. The fruit pancakes are a little more difficult to do than regular ones because, as I mentioned before, the fruit will stick. And incidentally, over here beside me on the corner of the table is actually some baking powder, which is different from baking soda, if you don't know it. Yeah, there is a difference between the two. And there are two brands of baking powder that are very common, Rumford and Calumet. And this happens to be Calumet, although I most commonly cook with Rumford after all. Okay, you can see the pan is steaming here, so it's certainly hot enough. So we can turn it down. We can start our pancakes. Now typically with pancakes, you throw away the first one, but we don't have enough to throw away, so we want to be pretty careful about the temperatures. One pancake, two, and just 2 tablespoons per pancake. The thicker they are, the more trouble they'll be, particularly with all this fruit in it. So this is a high fruit content. They're not coming out particularly pretty. They're actually a little bit on the runny side. Okay, let's see how these do. A little thicker and they would have turned out better. Better looking anyway. Okay, those are going. Start with the eggs now and heat our pan right here. A little butter in the pan. What you want to do is make sure you get them where they start bubbling around the edges, but they're firm enough to actually turn. The problem with cooking with an electric skillet like this is these corners don't get near as hot as the interior because the heating element is right here. So when you flip, you have to flip this way, from the corner to the center, so that the parts of the pancake get equally cooked. So we will do that when we turn them. We separate these pancakes now. They're moving in the pan, so okay, we can turn them. All right, you notice this is brown here and white here. This is because of these cool edges on the corners of these pans. All right, once you flip them over, corner to center. All right, these first pancakes are cooking. The butter here is ready. Ready for the egg. On this end. Okay. Egg. And salt. Move, doggy. Move, move, move. Canine assistant here sometimes gets in the way. A little pepper on the egg. Looking good. Pancakes coming along nicely. Yeah. All right, these are ready to, very nearly ready to take up. Yep. Those are done. Egg is turned in the pan over easy. Okay. One pancake. 2 pancakes. 1 sausage. 1 over easy egg. And there is a nice breakfast, hot, all at one time, and it is done in 45 minutes from scratch. Okay, so I'm about to eat some breakfast, and Hound Dog here is ready to eat too. Yes, you are, aren't you? But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. Whip.
And here is what our breakfast looked like with pancakes, sausage, and eggs cooked from scratch. And here is the recipe written out for 1 cup of flour. Now, I am the author of prize-winning books like Extreme Muzzleloading, as well as Crossbow Hunting. And all of these books have recipes contained in them. I am also the author of the new book, Ideas for New Businesses, that will be out actually later this month and tell you how you can make your own million or billion-dollar business. For more information on my books, blogs, and nearly 400 videos, you can go to my website, www.hoviesmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.